So Spain is famously known for their croquettes, which are basically a type of dumpling that are filled with a delicious filling, then they're breaded and finally golden fried, then we get a crispy exterior and a melt-in-your-mouth interior. Anyways, with that being said, today I'm going to show you how to make one of my personal favorite Spanish croquettes. We are talking Croquetas de Pisto. These croquettes have the most incredible flavors to them. They're very easy to make and they're made with simple everyday ingredients, folks. This is another one of those dishes that when you take that first bite, or in this case, that first crunch, it's going to give you an instant trip to beautiful España. Let's begin by getting our ingredients ready for the filling. I'm going to finely dice one onion, roughly chop 3 cloves of garlic, finely chop 1 red bell pepper, finely chop 1 green bell pepper, finely chop half of a zucchini, and finely grate 2 tomatoes to end up with a little over half a cup of tomato sauce, which is 125 grams. You can substitute this for either canned tomato sauce or even passata. And for the final ingredient, I'm going to cut 1 medium-sized potato into 4 evenly sized quarters. For the next step, let's start cooking all these vegetables. First, we're going to cook the potatoes, which are going to be the binder to our croquettes. I'm going to add the pieces of potato into a saucepan. Fill it with some cold water, just enough to barely cover the potatoes. Season generously with sea salt. And heat it with a medium-high heat. At the same time, I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat and add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. After heating the olive oil for 2 minutes, I'm going to add in the diced onion, the chopped garlic, the finely chopped bell peppers, and the finely chopped zucchini. And start mixing these vegetables around with the olive oil. That way each piece of vegetable is coated in the olive oil. And you don't have to mix this continuously, but do get in there every minute or so. That way everything evenly sautés. After about 10 minutes and the zucchini is nice and translucent and the rest of the vegetables lightly sautéed, you don't want to brown them too much. I'm going to add in the half cup of tomato sauce and season everything with sea salt, freshly cracked black pepper, and a pinch of white sugar to cut the acid from the tomatoes. And we'll give this a quick mix, that way all the ingredients are evenly mixed together, and simmer it on a medium heat between 5 to 7 minutes or until that tomato sauce has really thickened up. After about 6 to 7 minutes, and you can see that that tomato sauce has really thickened up, these vegetables are ready to go. I'm going to turn off the heat and let them sit here at room temperature. Alright, let's move back to the potatoes. It's been about 25 to 30 minutes since I turned on the heat, and they should be perfectly cooked. You know, you can always pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in, they are ready to go. I'm going to remove the saucepan from the heat and drain the potatoes into a colander. We'll shake off any of the excess water in the potatoes and transfer them into a large bowl. And as you can see, after you boil the potatoes, you can easily remove the skins. Now using a masher, I'm going to start mashing down on the potatoes until there's no lumps. Once you end up with a smooth potato texture that has no lumps in it, I'm going to add in our reserved vegetables into the bowl. And we're going to mix this together until everything's well mixed, and then push down on the mixture. That way we end up with a paste-like texture. Once everything's well mixed and you end up with a paste-like texture, we're going to let this sit here at room temperature for about 10 minutes. This is going to bring it up in temperature, making it so much easier to shape those croquettes. In the meantime, I'm going to add in half a cup of all-purpose flour into a bowl, which is about 70 grams. Crack in 2 eggs into a separate bowl. Lightly season them with sea salt and whisk them together. And on a third and separate bowl, I'm going to add in 1 cup of breadcrumbs, lightly season them with sea salt, and mix it together. Okay, let's move back to our vegetable mixture. It's been sitting here for about 10 minutes, so it has slightly cooled off, making it so much easier to shape the croquettes. I'm going to grab some of the mixture with a spoon, and then shape it into a traditional croquette design, which is about the size of an extra large egg. Then we'll dip it into the flour mixture, then into the egg wash, and finally into the breadcrumbs. And as you finish each croquette, transfer it into a dish. And continue to do this until all your croquettes are done. Now, if you find that your vegetable mixture is a little bit too wet and it's difficult to shape those croquettes, just add about half a cup of breadcrumbs into the vegetable mixture and mix it around. This should help it give it more body. And vice versa, if your mixture is a little bit too dry, just add a little liquid in there and mix it around. Once all the croquettes have been assembled, let's start cooking them up. I'm going to grab a small fry pan, heat it with a medium heat. Important to use a medium heat when you're frying croquettes and nothing higher, otherwise you can easily burn those breadcrumbs. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of sunflower oil, which is 120 milliliters. You can use whatever neutral oil you like. After heating the oil between 7 to 8 minutes, it should be nice and hot, but as you can see, it's not smoking, so it's not going to burn the outside of those croquettes. I'm going to start gently adding the croquettes into the pan. Very important to cook these in a single layer, so cook this in batches. After about 1.5 to 2 minutes, I'm going to flip the croquettes to fry the other side. After a total cooking time of 3 to 4 minutes and the croquettes have a beautiful golden fried color all around, they are ready to go. I'm going to start removing them from the pan and transferring them into a dish with some paper towels. And we'll continue to cook the rest of the croquettes in the exact same technique until they're all done. Once all the croquettes have been fried, our dish is ready to go. I'm going to transfer a couple of them into a serving dish. And we'll sprinkle them with some finely chopped parsley. Our Spanish vegetable croquettes are done. Croquetas de Pisto, made with very simple ingredients, incredible presentation. Let's give them a try and see how they taste. All right, folks, here we go. It is so good. You have that beautiful crispy exterior on the outside and the inside with all those vegetables and potatoes just melt in your mouth with so many great but simple flavors. You saw this, easy to make, using everyday ingredients. Try these croquettes at home. You are not going to believe how good they are. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Tommy Williams, Clarence Bolin, Carson Korn, and Martin Giddings. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon, consider becoming one, as it really helps with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Smash the subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.